you're thinking about moving to DC, Maryland, Virginia, or in this case, Hampton, Virginia, this is the video for you, because today at Open House, Charles and Rose are talking about everything that there is to know about living in Hampton. And of course, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, because every single day we're helping folks from out of state learn about what it's like to live in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, so that they know exactly where to move and who to call when they want to make a smooth move to the DMV. So go ahead, of course, take a look at our contact details in the description below, and let's get into the conversation between Charles and Rose.
Hello, my name is Charles with Open House Media, and if you're ready to take a deep dive on what it's like to live in Hampton, Virginia, then you've found the right video, because I have Rose Matthews with me, and she's a licensed real estate professional in the area, and she specializes in helping people get familiar with and move to the Hampton, Virginia area. So if you're considering moving there, then you're in the right place. So let's take a deep dive into what it's like to live in Hampton, Virginia. So Rose, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you love Hampton, Virginia so much?
I've been in real estate since 1977, and I love it because it gives me the opportunity to serve as well as to help people. And when I first got into the business, I specialized in the impossibilities of home buying and selling. I love seeing people, make their dreams come true. And that was the thing that always gave me the drive, to seeing people that had no hope end up with a dream that they didn't think they would ever have.
That's a perfect mission statement. That's one of the best ones I've heard. So what's it like? What's the culture like in Hampton? Is it suburban, rural? Is it small town? Is it like a combination of things?
It's a combination, but in 2019, it was 100% urban. But now it is suburban, because most people in Hampton, they own their own homes. I always say being in Hampton is like a little New York City sometimes. It's not a big city. We have a population about 137,000 people, but many of them own their own homes, and it's easy to get around.
Okay. So what's the story behind Hampton? Where has it been? A little bit of maybe history about it, and where you see it going in the future. Where are we headed in Hampton?
Well, Hampton, first of all, was founded in 1610. And I will just give you some of my notes here. It was the first continuous English-speaking settlement that was ever established here. And it was America's first free public education. That was offered here in Hampton as well. And NASA trained their first astronauts here in Hampton. And what's it like to live in Hampton? In Hampton, you have access to relaxing beaches, waterfronts, affordable living. You get nice weather most of the time. Hardly ever do we have flooding as people experience cross country, or tornadoes or severe hurricanes. Places burning up. We hardly ever have those kind of perils in Hampton. And there are lots of parks in Hampton, and a lot of things, fun things to do for people that want to live here. What's
the temperature like year round? Does it get above freezing very much, or is it above freezing most of the time?
It stays above freezing. I think rarely do we go below 35 degrees in the wintertime. And in fact, I can wear a cape, medium weight cape year round, because it's never severely that cold, where you have to worry about your pipes bursting once in a while. And as far as like bad weather, like snow, we may have snow once every 2 years, but when we have it, it's never been severe for quite a few years now. And so for Christmas time, when people would love to have snow, we may as well look for sunshine or rain, because we don't get those kind of weather conditions here, mostly in Hampton.
Gotcha. So about the economics, when it comes to where people tend to work, are more people commuting and going to other places around Hampton, or are they kind of staying local and working within Hampton itself?
Well, Hampton is close to Newport News, Yorktown, we're like surrounded, you know. Hampton's like on a little island. And around Hampton, you have Newport News, you have York County, you have Williamsburg. And a lot of people commute because one of the biggest industries that we have here is the shipbuilding. We build ships in the area. The shipping company, which is Ingalls, Huntington Ingalls now, used to be called Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Dock. But thousands of people commute from other states here or other towns, North Carolinas, to come here because that's one of the biggest employers in the area. So people from Hampton, Newport News, York County, they all commute. We don't have a lot of in Hampton, you do have a bus line, a city bus transit, you know, where you can catch a bus. But we don't have a lot of areas that it goes to in Hampton because Hampton, most of the people have their own cars and they don't need the transit, you know, very, very rare. So it's limited. The transit is limited and how it goes through Hampton up the line all the way up Newport News to the Denby area. So, but most people, I think, commute, you know, and commuting to work, like to the big places here, the shipyard, you talking maybe about 20 minutes at the most, you know, from Hampton to the big shipyard, you know, where they build all the ships, the Navy ships. Then others from Hampton, they go to the Norfolk Navy Yards. They commute there, and that's about 30 minutes.
So let's talk about schools for a minute. I know that you probably can't talk about your favorite school one over the other, but let's talk generally about, you know, what the school systems are like. Is there any charter or specialty schools, independent schools, colleges, things like that?
Yeah, there are some good schools here, and I can talk about one of my favorite schools, which is one that my kids went to, my son graduated from. And one of the top 5 is Bethel High School. And I've got a number of the schools. You have Bethel High School, Kecoughtan High School, Hampton High School, and Phoebus High School. All of these schools are in Hampton. But Bethel is, of course, my favorite school. All the schools around here are convenient to the malls, to the shopping, commuting for schools, even though they do buses for those kids that don't drive to school, but like elementary, middle schools. You can get to any school from home, I'd say within 15 to 20 minutes in Hampton.
Okay, that's good to know for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the fun stuff there is to do in Hampton. What kind of restaurants do you have in Hampton?
We have lots of really nice restaurants. We have like in downtown Hampton, they have like little pub type restaurants, you know, where you can sit outside and eat, or you can go inside and eat. They have seafood restaurants. One of our famous seafood restaurants, it used to be Fisherman's Wharf, but it's now called Surf Riders. I don't know if you've heard of Surf Riders. It's on the water, and they specialize in seafood only. We have another one, a really nice restaurant on Port Monroe, which is one of the military bases here. But there's a restaurant there called Dead Rise. It's really nice upscale restaurant. Then you have Olive Gardens, you have Outback Steakhouse, you have Applebee's, you have a lot of soul food restaurants around town as well for those people who like soul food. You have the hibachi style cooking, which I love, around in Hampton, near the shopping areas. These restaurants are really convenient to the shopping area, which is the Coliseum areas. The key area for shopping in Hampton is the Coliseum. And they redesigned that shopping center a few years ago where it was all inside of a big mall. All the stores were inside of a mall. But now they recreated the mall where the stores are built outside, where you just walk into the individual store you want to go in without going inside of a mall.
What about concert halls and like sport arenas? What kind of sporting events go on around Hampton?
Hampton, the biggest area here is the Hampton Coliseum. And we have that, and we have the convention center, which is next to it. where they have the biggest events here. So, and then we have, let's see, there's another place we have here. It's called a theater, the Harbor Theater. Mind you, the people in Hampton are right across the river from Norfolk, which has bigger coliseums, you know, where we just commute. You're talking maybe 20 minutes to get over there, where they have the Scope downtown Norfolk that's maybe bigger than the Hampton Coliseum, where we all attend events like that. It's like I say, it's easy to get around because Hampton is in like the center of all the attractions. And so it's very good to get around like that here.
But so it's like the center of the spoke, right? And you go all of these different places.
Exactly. You just like, you in Hampton, you can, hey, I want to go to Norfolk. I want to go to Harbor Fest, which is downtown Norfolk every year. You know, 30 minutes, you and your family on the water downtown Norfolk with all the festivities, where they have Seafood Fest and they have a Harbor Fest every year, where they have all kinds of vendors come out, you know, and have music and people sitting on the lawns relaxing, all kinds of entertainment, you know, for the family fun. Also, it's easy to get to. Like I say, it's just like a straight shot, either going across one bridge or another, you know, depending on which way you want to go. So it's really, really nice. And in Hampton, we have in Phoebus, in Hampton, the historical part of Hampton is called Phoebus, where you have the older homes that were, they built a neighborhood of new homes look like older homes that were built 100 years ago, because they wanted to keep the history of Hampton to look extinct. And but they have all the newness of everything that you want to build in them, but they look like on the outside, they look like old Hampton. Then we have other outings on in Town Point Park, a couple of places where on the water where they hire a band and they let people, vendors, you know, set up shop and you take your family around. And there are times they set up a little small circus in town as well, and one every year at the Coliseum area. So there's a lot of fun things.
Sounds like a lot of good family fun and lots of stuff there for the, you know, like the kids to do with the family. Is there some things that are specific for children around the area that would be good for kids?
There is also the Aeronautics Center, the Space Center. It's good to take kids in. It's real educational and it's fun for the children. There's another place I wanted to tell you about. It's called the River Street Park. It's downtown Hampton. It's a small park. And they have affairs there every year as well for families. And there's another.
I guess you probably have stuff like trampoline parks and go-kart tracks and things, arcades and stuff like that.
Those are mostly in Virginia Beach. But
okay.
The beach, again, is not but 45 minutes from Hampton.
Okay.
But when they do the things like arcades and stuff, they usually do them at the circus when they set up the circus, where you can go from the rides to the arcades. And they usually have a circus every year, and it stays here usually about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks every year. Then also we have, like I say, Hampton is the center of everything. You can go to Water Country in Williamsburg. It's 30 minutes from here. You can go to King's Dominion, which is up in Richmond, you know, so it's just like a jump street away from Hampton. So there's
how far is Richmond?
Richmond is, from Hampton is about 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah.
So King's Dominion, of course, is a little further up. Pass is right outside of Richmond, but still, you're talking no more than 1.5 hour drive probably from Hampton.
Right. Yeah. So it'd be a good little day trip, you know, go up there and spend the day at King's Dominion with the kids and come back.
And Busch Gardens, a lot of us go to Busch Gardens from here, from Hampton, which is next to Busch Gardens. And Busch Gardens, have you ever heard of it?
I have, yes.
Okay, so Busch Gardens, you know, they got a lot of stuff going on in Busch Gardens, which is like King's Dominion on a different scale. However, then there's Water Country next to Busch Gardens, which is a lot of family fun for kids, where they get in the little boats and all the little water rides and stuff like that. So there's a lot of fun things to do.
Okay. And Busch Gardens, is that also in Richmond as well?
No, Busch Gardens is in Williamsburg, which is close.
Williamsburg. Okay.
Yeah, 30-minute ride to Busch Gardens. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Well, that sounds like a lot of stuff for families to do together and with the kids as well. What about nature? Like people want to get away from, the city. They want to go out and they want to see some lakes, rivers, trails, parks. What kind of things do you have there?
Well, we have beach here. We have the Buckrow Beach, which is in the bottom of Hampton, and you have let's see, the other place to go would be for water, Newport News Museum area, which is again adjacent to Hampton. You're talking maybe 15-20 minutes to get to there from Hampton, up in the museum area where they have parks with the wooded areas where you can go out and you can have picnics. They have picnic tables set up for families already. All you have to do is take your food and your grill. You reserve the spots that you want whenever you want. A lot of people do their family reunions in the parks. Newport News Park, Deer Park, one of the parks. Newport News Park is another up in Newport News. And like I said, it's just like it's our neighbor. From Hampton to Newport News, we do it all. Hampton fun is to have it all, because you just go from one spot to the other, and you can make it anywhere around here within 45 minutes to the farthest place away, other than going to Richmond. So there's a lot to do, and then in the Christmas time, we have the Botanical Gardens, which you drive out of Hampton about 30 minutes to the Botanical Gardens, even though they're in Norfolk. Is a scenery that we love to go to every year. And then, of course, you got the Buckrow Beach, which is the biggest beach in Hampton, on the water, and there are fun things to do there.
Gotcha. Yeah, it seems like a really good central location with tons of stuff to do. That's incredible.
Yes.
With all the stuff that you've been talking about. And it's all really like within an hour. So, I mean, it's, seems like a really great place to move to for sure. Let's talk about houses for a minute. What are the developments like there? Is it more historical homes like you were talking about, where they're trying to mimic the historical look and feel, or is it townhomes, apartments? What's the housing look like there?
It's mostly traditional homes. The newer homes are mostly traditional. The period that I'm talking about in the downtown Hampton, that they redeveloped and built new homes with the older front look to it. They only had one section in Hampton that they were able to do that in downtown Hampton. Around Hampton, the houses are more traditional. Some of them are all brick. The new construction, they're all brick. Some of the older homes are all brick. Mostly 2 stories, because when builders build property here, or I guess anywhere, they save a lot of money or make more money by doing 2 stories rather than ranchers. Ranchers are becoming more popular for seniors because of our ages and because of going up and down the stairs. So all the construction that's new now is being built with a master bedroom, usually on the first floor. And the other rooms are upstairs. Average home is not new construction now, but the average home around here is between $215,000 and $330,000 to get an average medium priced home.
Right.
Income wise, you would need to have at least $55,000 gross a year for the family to be able to afford a medium sized house. And of course, that depends on your debt to income ratio as well. And as far as qualifying for one of those price homes, but that is the median price homes. Rarely do we have homes over $1 million here. They are usually in Virginia Beach and in upper part of Newport News, North Newport News. But in Hampton, we have some exclusive neighborhoods where they're all brick, pretty new development. But we've almost run out of space land in Hampton. I don't know if there's any more space to build a new site, a whole new subdivision in Hampton, because we've just about exhausted all the trees in Hampton. But the neighborhoods are very nice. It's quiet. You know, I loved Hampton when I was over there. The only reason I moved from Hampton was because I got married to a guy that was over across the river. And so he wasn't about to move my way, so I had to move his way. So that's how I ended up on the south side.
Right. But hey, you know a lot about Hampton, and I certainly do appreciate you sharing your knowledge about it, because people are going to be very appreciative to, you know, have the answer to these kind of questions, which would be really important to them when they're considering moving to the Hampton area. So what I would say is thank you very much, Rose, for coming on and doing this interview with me. Like I said, people are going to appreciate this information very much. And if you're considering moving to the Hampton area and you would like buyer representation, then please look below the video at our contact information and ask for Rose Matthews by name, and then we will get you hooked up with her so that she can take care of you. So Rose, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it very much.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity.